This is Keyed In with Max and Brent, unlocking the minds of the industry's top real estate professionals. And now, here are your hosts, Max Rabin and Brent Jackson.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Keyed In podcast. I'm Max Rabin.
And I am Brent Jackson.
I've been gone for a while, and I apologize to all of our wonderful listeners. I'm so happy to be back. It's just like riding a bike, right, Brent?
Just like riding a bike. We'll see if our numbers on the back end go up or down with your absence here.
Yeah, let's see if I still have it. We're going to get right to introducing our guest. It's Sina Mollaan from Compass. And we're going to start off today just talking a little bit about our experiences. We were all at Inman Connect last week in New York. Inman Connect is a national, international real estate conference, and it's hosted by Inman, which is basically a publishing company. They do real estate news, editorial stuff. It's all run by Brad Inman, and it's probably one of you've been many years, right?
I've been going for about 10 years, and to me, it's just a fascinating experience because you have thought leaders across the industries, and across the country that are up on the stage, different stages, different panels. So you get to hear different topics and different opinions across the board on technology, to what's going on in lending, to what's going on in our market. So to me, it's been fascinating to go to that for like 10 years.
So, Sina, how many have you been to Inman before? Was this your first time, or?
This is my first time visiting physically. I've done the virtual events, but
yeah,
this is the first time going to the actual conference. It was great. Loved it.
So tell us a little bit about your experience there and like some key takeaways, like some of the highlights for you.
I guess the key takeaways for me was that it was interesting to see how the entire industry is suffering just like us, and not just real estate agents, but all the prop tech companies, all the fintech companies, and how they're that we're all in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
And then one other takeaway was I guess listening to the economists that were on the panel, especially the Redfin girl, how she was saying that she feels like in the beginning last year, as agents we're all eternal optimists, right? So when everybody was telling us how everything's going down, I'm like, oh, we'll be fine, we'll be all right, you know what I mean? And then and then fourth quarter happened, and
right.
then,
right.
But now it feels like and last year everybody was talking about how we're in a bubble and you can't deflate a bubble and you got to burst a bubble and all that talk. But now everybody's talking about how like a soft landing is actually possible.
Sure.
It was nice to hear that from the leading economists of all the Redfin and everybody else, to see like we're actually, a soft landing is possible.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head. To me, it was, again, you hear different leaders from across the country up on the platform, and that was the general consensus. It was a terrible market, multi-million, $100 million agents reverting back to rentals. And I'm not sure if the economist said it or one of the lenders, but it's the one takeaway I've been telling everybody across the board. It's buyers went on strike in the fall.
Right.
Whatever
Mm-hmm.
reason, Labor Day hit, buyers went on strike, the market just shut down. Now we've pivoted away from that going into January. It's low inventory, rates have come down, this, that, and the other. Great weather, not counting today. But we've seen just an uptick in pricing across the board, all price points, sub-markets, and what have you.
Absolutely. No, I mean, fourth quarter for us, it was really bad too. We had so many people sitting on the fence. And I used to joke, like, my fence is about to break. There's no more room on my fence for any of my buyers to be sitting on. But right after the New Year's, I mean, it picked up for us.
Yeah,
big time. There was this one listing in the market in Capitol Hill. Been in the market for 90 days, and then here we are, right after January, we're looking at it, and our buyer wants to write, and sure enough, two other buyers, 92 days in the market.
Right.
And the other two buyers had been dilly-dallying on that. They've been around, and they lost. We won. We had to go $55,000 over list price on a listing that was 92 days on the market in Capitol Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So, market's back.
Did you have any favorite speakers, or Max, did you have a favorite speaker?
Yeah, I had a whole list of stuff to talk about.
Buckle up.
Like some of my favorite stuff there was right on day one, Brad Inman just grilling Robert Reffkin.
Yes.
And Sina, you're with Compass, and we'll get into that in a few. But Compass has definitely been under the gun. Since their IPO, the stock price has been completely destroyed. That's not just the effect of what's going on with the company. The stock market is in general was rough, but yeah, the industry also. But he came out and explained Compass is no longer paying agents for recruiting. Inman's just like needling him the whole time, and then Refkin tried to come across as relatable at one point, talk about flying economy, and everyone in the audience just kind of groaned, like, "Come on, bro."
Yeah.
That was kind of
I don't know.
hilarious.
He made the comment about the armrest. Like, there's an etiquette to the armrest. Like, whoever sits in the middle seat
deserves to have the armrest.
Right, they
Deserves
get
to have the armrest.
exactly.
But it's just the way he did it. It was
Right.
just
Probably researched.
it was right. Someone told
Well, he
him.
did
to do
say,
it.
I went online, I Googled it, I mean, so he did his research.
Right.
I
Yeah.
guess maybe he is sitting in coach if he's doing research, the etiquette of sitting in coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
I believe he probably has flown coach a few times for optics. It's
Right.
like your stock price has gone down to like $2. You shouldn't be flying private while your agents are like getting pissed. So
Yeah.
there was on the second day they did a lot of social media stuff. Glenda Baker spoke. Glenda Baker is an agent in Atlanta who has an incredible TikTok channel, and so she just talked about how all the stuff she's doing on video and how she came up with her style. And I thought that was really great. She was fantastic. She sort of does like a testimonial style where she sort of faces like slightly off camera as if someone's talking to her, and she's very genuine and straightforward, and it's like really worked for her. It's turned into a lot of referral business. And so that was kind of a cool feature.
Yeah, she was great. I talked to her afterwards too, and she's got a great personality.
Yeah,
Love her.
she's amazing. We
Yeah.
would love to have her on our show here, and we're reaching out to her to.
Yeah.
Definitely a great person. And then just talking about how video in general, like vertical short form versus using YouTube wide form,
Yep.
all the different tips and like quick tips, quick tricks to how to get started in either one. You guys probably know I love like vertical short form. It's just like run and gun with that. So
Yeah, I love your videos on TikTok. They're great.
appreciate. And like, don't worry about equipment. One woman was saying like, people are like, "Oh, what do you use? Do you use this a gimbal? What kind of camera?" She's like, "I use my hand and my phone," which is kind of what I do. And so I
That's
like
all
that.
you need.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
You don't need to get all complicated. The more gear you have, the more annoying you're gonna.
Right.
And the less
Right.
authentic it is too, right? If
Yeah.
you have a whole stage prop with tripod and all that and cameraman, it's less authentic.
Well,
Ironically though, and guys, I'm sure you saw this as well, but we were walking around and there were like 4 or 5 agents I would see regularly with like a film crew
Oh,
behind
yeah.
them, like going
Total
up the
media crew.
escalator or whatnot. I'm like, that's just a little bizarre.
We actually have one on the team too now.
Oh, you do?
We do. Yeah. And he's an
Might have been
agent.
you.
I'm pretty good at it too. I was
Okay.
that guy in high school. So I in high school I did a lot of our yearbook photos. So I was that guy in high school walking around with the Canon AE1. Remember the Canon? I don't know, you guys
Mhm.
probably. Canon AE1, just taking pictures of everything. And even in the 90s, I have videos of me riding my bike on the by the canal, with a big camera, and I'm like, and I do that all the time too. But he's the guy on our team he's actually an agent too.
Okay.
So.
So
a
he's come out
professional.
and like filming you and
The
team
entire
during.
team, yeah.
Nice,
we're
nice.
just, I've been talking about video for years with everyone on the team, and in the past couple of years, we've all been so busy. But now it's like, hey, we got some time. Let's do this. Let's create some content. I got so many ideas. There's so much we want to do. Like I was telling Brent earlier, we set up a little studio in our office too on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
We got a little with the backdrop of the of the brick wall, and we've been creating some videos. So you'll start seeing our stuff. So,
Good.
Did you have a video crew at Inman
No,
following
no,
you?
no.
It's not ready for that yet.
Not ready for that yet, no. But I saw like Veronica Figueroa from Orlando, like she had a crew following her around. I think it was her husband actually that was filming her. But
Yeah.
I saw a few too that
Right.
Well, one thing, so Ryan Serhant was there, and I'm a big fan of his books, and I think he's hilarious.
He's
and
great.
He's unbelievable, right?
He's amazing.
yeah.
And so he had obviously his whole media team, as he does everywhere he goes,
Right.
because he is just content creation. And so he was doing like a little meet and greet after his speaking 15 minutes, just right outside the main conference room. And he had his photographer there taking like full SLR images of literally every person he was like hanging out with.
Right. Yeah.
And just in case, right?
Yeah.
Like who would need all of these like high quality images of every single attendee? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows who you're running into?
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
But they were pretty good too because I gave him my camera.
Mhm.
So I like to take it like a 5-second video of taking a picture.
Right.
So how everyone getting together and
Yeah.
like so, and they did it for me too. They said, "Here's my camera," and
Yep.
he took a little video and took a couple snapshots, and
Pretty cool.
yeah.
And then just one more quick one. I also just really, for that conference, is you're seeing some major players up there. Pete Flynn, who started Trulia, Spencer Raskoff, who was the former CEO of Zillow. I mean, those are heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters, yeah.
And like, again, we talk about all these companies and all these people, we see headlines and stuff like that, but they're like right there doing their thing.
That's why I love Inman. That's
Yeah.
why I love being there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's virtual events all good and everything, but you got to be there.
Yeah.
It's a different experience when you're there
Totally
because you're
different.
shaking hands, and then it's and again, not every panel is great. Some of them are a little more exciting than others. But I mean, again, when you're there, and you're shaking hands with some of the top people in our industry.
Absolutely.
Would both of you guys go back?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I actually played a couple of the panel videos on my team meeting yesterday. One of Robert Refkin and the other one of the social media. I forget her name, but she was just generally speaking about social media. on video.
Giselle Ugarte, I think was her
I
name.
think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
Giselle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played it on my meeting, and, you know, and I have so many more video, and I've been actually listening to them
Yes.
because I missed a lot. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of stuff you couldn't possibly see all of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
She was good. I mean, one thing I picked up from her was we all in the same boat. Let's get out this newsletter for this month or whatever.
Right.
And she was like, consumers could care less.
No
I
one
mean, all
cares.
you want to do is hear yourself talk or see yourself in print. It's like, nobody
Right.
cares.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and then she also, I can't remember if it was her or there was another woman who's also really good at talking about Instagram, but talking about like the dopamine hit of
Yes.
of social media. It goes both ways. It's like when
That's the one we saw yesterday. The dopamine.
Right.
Yes.
yeah, and it's like, you know, she posted a short video of her son getting a new puppy, and it's like, you know, everyone in the place was smiling, obviously.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of stuff we're looking for when we're out there trying to put the media out.
Right.
And so I thought that was pretty interesting too.
Yeah, that was very cool.
So that's my Inman stuff. Anything else?
No, I mean, again, I think Ryan was amazing. Hearing him talk about interactive video, we've been talking about video for 5 minutes now, but his thought is in the next step, it's going to be interactive video, similar to like FaceTime and Zooms and things like that. You're at a property and you're live with the audience in front of you. You have
Right.
an interaction back and forth with your consumer, which was
Yeah.
interesting. And then his view on Office Space versus Robert Refkin.
That was very
I'm more in the
interesting.
Robert Refkin camp than Ryan, but it was interesting to hear those two viewpoints where Robert was like, he threw his Zoom office in the trash as soon as the pandemic was over. And then Ryan was like, of course he's going to say that, but we're in a remote industry where people have to be out in front of people, so we don't need to be in an office chained to a desk 24/7.
Yeah. What did Ryan call his offices? Like not like they're like clubhouses.
Clubhouses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean the metaverse, it's just, you know, I think a hybrid is good. I don't think one or the other.
Right.
Yeah, I tend to lean to the office more too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I love being at the office, especially the energy. Or even my ad last every time, you know, I just love being at the office. I don't like working from home. As realtors working remotely, we've been working remotely for years now, right?
Exactly.
Off
Totally.
of our cars. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
when
yeah.
the pandemic hit, it was like a big yawn for us. I'm like, okay, you know, we've been doing this for like, but you know, but going to the office and there's no one there, and it was very depressing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, you know, and now, like, you know, yesterday when we had our team meeting, I mean, the energy of the office is something else. I mean, the culture, and I do agree with Robert when it, you know, it's killing culture, the Zoom meetings and everything. And, you know, there's so much collaboration happens at the office, so many water cooler moments, you know, especially, I mean, you guys have very, you know, big office too, with a lot of, you know, heavy hitters, and, you know, us too, right? I mean, in our floor itself, I mean, we have, you know, we have the Jen Spear team and the Manny and David team, and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and there's, you know, Boardman Residential, so a couple of people in the back. I mean, these are like powerful, like these are serious, you know, it's like playing for the Lakers and you walk around the, you know, the locker room with all the big names up there.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I
no
love
doubt.
seeing the big names in my office and just collaborating with them. So I do agree. But, you know, sometimes, but we can't always be at the office, right? You know, I mean, sometimes, you know, we have to work from, my daily routine is, you know, I drop my daughter off at school and I, you know, go back to my home office, check my emails, get everything out of the way before I drive to the office.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I'm all about off. But it was funny how the old conference thing, and Brad was on stage asking, you know, the office people, yay, and the non-office people, you know, it looks like the office people, we won.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, look, I always appreciate having an office to go to. They've kind of revamped our office in Georgetown. Actually, we had like a new like little mini opening for our new second floor. They kind of cleared some space out there and made more of like a hangout space so people can meet and convene and
Yeah.
like more modern type of workspace.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's great. And we, you know, got to see a bunch of people I haven't seen in a bit and talk about what's going on. And that's very helpful in our business.
Absolutely. We actually lost an agent in our office, Mansoor.
Yes, Mansoor, yeah.
Mansoor, he's like, there's nobody at the office.
We haven't
Yeah,
had
we-
Mansoor. Mansoor's not been.
Mansoor's been on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of shows.
He was back in the fall because I remember we were talking about cereal. That's the one comment I remember is like we got into a whole sidebar about cereal on the show, like what's your favorite cereal. But he's been on the show.
Maybe I wasn't on that show. I feel like I would have remembered
I'm
a
not
cereal
sure.
conversation.
But he called after he left Compass, and he straight up said, "Look, I need more office collaboration, and I get that more in Sotheby's."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's funny. So he left right after the New Year, and right after the New Year, the office traffic picked up. Everybody started coming back to the office more.
Yeah.
We've set up our office nice. Like I said, we have a little studio set up now. We got so we're getting people back in the office now. I mean, our team is definitely coming back more and more. But we have a little parking problem being on 14th Street.
We all do.
We all do, but but besides that,
yeah,
love being back at the office.
That's a whole other side topic. I'm like, the shanty towns is what I call them. The restaurants that have the footprint outside their restaurant into the street, and
like
they take
cardboard
up all
box on the street.
The cardboard box. It takes up the side street parking.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
It is. It's pretty bad. But we are at the the Wall Street of real estate on 14th Street, the logo, right?
Exactly.
All the big shots are there.
Right.
Except Max.
No, I'm in
in
Georgetown up in my cubby.
He's got to be on the. We've got to have two presences, right? Like Georgetown presence,
like more
Wisconsin,
Georgetown, and then
What can I say? I moved to Georgetown about 10 years ago, and I've just gotten very into my whole little Georgetown world. I do business all over the city. I'm all over the place, but I don't know. Georgetown's really home for me right now.
Yeah.
So I love it.
I used to live in Georgetown, so I love Georgetown.
Yeah. All right, let's rewind. Let's sort of reset the podcast here. We got to talk about Inman and some other subjects. So Sina, welcome to the show. We want to talk about your history in real estate, how you got started, where you're from, and just dive right in. Like, tell us.
So I'm from Iran. We left in '79 during the revolution. Non-Muslim family, so we had to get the heck out of Dodge. My family, my dad's generation in the '70s, his sisters and his cousins, and he's got a lot of cousins. And they were very close. His cousins.
Mm-hmm.
They all studied abroad in Italy in the '70s. So when the revolution hit, a lot of them, that's all they knew. So they just went back to Italy. So we have a lot of family in Italy who grew up in Italy, married Italian, husbands and wife, and they have, half Italian, half Persian. Just like my kids, like Americanized, they're all Italianized. So we have a lot of family in Italy. But we came to America. We went to Italy first for a few weeks, and then we went to San Diego. And we went to San Diego, and we lived in LA for the first few years, and San Diego for 6 months, and then moved to LA early 80, and I pretty much grew up in LA. We did elementary school, junior high school, and high school in LA, and I moved here in '88 to the DC area. My dad was going back and forth to Italy. He was doing business in Italy, so he was going back and forth to Italy. So it was easier for him to be on the East Coast. And I was 18 years old. I had not much going on. All my friends had gone away for college. Here I was in Valley College and the Valley. They're like, Montgomery College equivalent.
Sure.
So when they moved here, I moved with them. At first, I hated it here, like 1988, DC, Capitol Hill.
Is that where you lived? As in Capitol Hill?
He bought a gas station in Capitol Hill. He had a lot of friends that owned a lot of gas stations around town. New York Avenue, Capitol Hill, New Jersey, where the NAR building is right now. Used to be a gas station owned by my dad's best friend. So he was in a gas station.
It's like old DC vibes,
old
right
DC.
there. Yeah.
So my first experience of DC was like we flew into town, and we went to New Jersey Avenue, that gas station, to visit my dad's friend before we went, and it was awful. I mean, DC was not that great back then. Right. We all, let's keep.
I mean, I grew up here, man. I know 1980. Yeah.
So but it didn't take me a long time to fall in love with DC. It took me 6 months. I met this girl who went to Corcoran Art School right by the White House.
Corcoran, yeah.
She lived on 16th Street. I remember 16th Street was so edgy. It was like, it was 16th Street in 88, 89, And I started going to the nightclub Fifth Column. I remember those, and then that was it. I found a little scene in DC, and I fell in love with DC, and I started going to college. For a year, in '90, I went to Italy for a year, thinking I want to live over there, but it didn't work out for me. I came back in '91, and I've been here straight ever since.
So wait, let's just quickly use Fifth Column, and we were talking earlier about you had a business, the DJ Hut,
yes,
which was a record store, 12-inch like dance records.
12-inch dance. We bought it from 12-inch. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So, talk a little bit about that, like the '90s era.
So I was heavy into the club scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I started doing parties at the Edge nightclub,
Yeah.
right behind Tracks.
Yeah, totally.
And we would do like we'd do some parties at Tracks. So from like 94 to about 98, doing a lot of parties over there. So I was a promoter, we hired DJs. And the whole electronic music scene, house music, was very new back then, right? It was brand new. So I used to, book Carl Cox for $1,500.
Right.
Now he's charging $500,000.
Oh, I know.
Right?
It's filling stadiums, I know.
Filling stadiums now, but I booked him for $1,500.
Yeah.
Like Deep Dish, Sharam and Ali.
Of course.
$200.
Yeah.
It was Wednesday night at
Yep.
the Edge behind,
Yep.
at Pollen. The name of the party was called Pollen.
Yeah.
So I used to do a lot of parties. You remember Pollen?
Yeah, and the Deep Dish guys, I can't. One of them was dating a really close friend of mine. Like, so yeah, I know them. Like, I remember going, like, when I was in college in Boston, like, they invited me over to some club on Lansdowne Street, and I was like their VIP guest and everything.
Right.
Those guys are great.
Yeah.
You know,
They made it big. I mean, Ali
Yeah.
it goes by Dubfire. He made it. I mean, he's
Yeah.
traveling the world just like Carl Cox and them.
Yeah.
Sharam is a little bit more local. He does more production.
Yeah.
But Ali's like traveling the world still.
Yeah.
His brother, actually, who's his agent,
hmm
works for. He's a real estate agent now at Compass in our office.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is
Yeah,
like,
this is old school.
This is
Sorry,
old school
Old
DCC
school.
stuff.
Yes.
no, anyway, but on the record store thing we were talking about,
So
those old
what-
record stores,
yeah,
Deep Dish, that was Deep Dish. Bohemia became Deep Dish on M Street.
On M Street, exactly. Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, good stuff, man.
Yeah,
Like,
but they, but I mean that was a nice record store, but it wasn't 12-inch.
no, you guys had like the real
Yeah.
stuff. I know, man.
Towards the end, we were not making it. Last 2 years, we were not making any money. It was
Mhm.
like a community service, keeping the record store going. On Thursdays and Fridays, when we get all the new records in, I mean, all the DJs from all the clubs around town would come over there. It was like a little scene, like just hanging out. We set up a little area where people can chill and just talk about the scene, talk about the music. So Thursday and Fridays at DJ Hub was lit.
Yeah,
I mean, all
Yeah.
the Saturday,
Yeah.
Sundays were dead because they're all working. But then and then when we had other DJs that come to town that would are playing in certain nightclubs, always had to do a stop through at DJ Hut. So
Yep.
it was great. But then but we had to close it down. I was getting into digital music. I was all this is like 2007-ish, 2008-ish, where like MP3s were coming up. And,
yeah, everything
I was
went
like,
to
digital music. I want to sell digital music. I got into it too to distribute, but then I couldn't compete with Apple and Spotify.
Right.
But
right.
we wanted to do something just like Spotify. My goal was to get on. It wasn't an app back then. We call it a website, right? Because we didn't have apps too much back then. And you get on the website and you choose your DJ, you choose your music, and you just listen to any set.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That was all right, but then we didn't. It didn't work out for us.
All right. Worked out for Steve Jobs.
It's
Yeah,
absolutely,
totally.
yeah.
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 Cornered
So,
that.
and you mentioned like the market started to shift. Like, when did your eyes open to real estate? Were you doing like sidebar real estate during the?
During my record store, actually in 2000, I had my real estate license. So I got in real estate in 2001. 9/11 had just happened. I was actually in IT. I was a government contractor. I was database and website administrator. I was managing ngc.gov for Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, which is a sub of DHHS. And after 9/11, you needed security clearance to work for the government when your contract was up. And at that time, there was a backlog of security clearance because everybody needed clearance. So they told me it's going to take a year and a half. So, and I had a year and a half to do whatever I thought, and this is like 2002-ish, 2001-ish. And, during the, height of the bubble, I got in real estate. A friend of mine told me you can go buy foreclosure properties, distressed sales. So I started buying distressed sales. And the first deal, I made like $100,000. And when I got my clearance, and I actually got my clearance early, it only took 9 months. When they called me, I said, heck no, I'm not coming back. I'm done. I'm in real
Right.
estate. And and I was flipping properties. I was going to foreclosure auctions and buying foreclosure properties and flipping them.
Which location are you in? DC, Maryland,
DC.
Virginia?
Yeah, DC.
Which neighborhood?
Wherever there is a foreclosure.
Houses, condos?
Anything.
Anything.
My first play was a condo in Adams Morgan. I bought it in foreclosure. It was, I had comped it at 550. I bought it for like 300,000.
Mhm.
And that was my very first one. And the seller, the owner was an attorney, and apparently was a drug addict, and he just didn't even care about paying his. He had enough money to pay off his mortgage, but he went into foreclosure.
Wow.
And DC foreclosure sale is absolute sale. There's no going back. It's right at the sale. It's ratified, so there's no, the seller can't do it. So he gave me, he said, look, he was contesting the sale, and he said, look, let me give you $100,000 and you go away. And I said, okay, I'll take it. I haven't
Wow.
done it. I haven't even bought this place yet. I took it and left, and I was like, I love real estate. This is where I want to be. I want
Right.
to, So I was doing distressed sales for a few years.
Real quick on how did that work? I'm just thinking, if he gave you 100, did it still go to foreclosure? Or
No,
did he pay it
I
off?
signed it off. I signed everything back to him, and he had to pay off the loan.
So
like
he
I
ended
said, he had enough cash to pay off his mortgage.
So he ended up
And
paying off
also
the
pay you
mortgage.
a fee
Pay
back.
me a fee. Yeah.
Wow.
When I visited his house, right in front of his door, there was a little bucket, and he's like, "Look, that's where all my bills go." And I'm looking, I'm seeing the notices from Alex Cooper, the auction house.
Yeah, yeah.
So look, these are all, because like, what are you talking about? You didn't, I said, look at your bills, and he looked through them. He's like, oh, and I showed him the bill of sale, and he was an attorney himself. And then he did his research and got back to me. It's like, you know what? Okay, fine. Here's the money. But it's hard. It's easy to buy foreclosure and everything, but it's hard to get the people out afterwards, right?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're like, in DC, DC laws is a little tough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
eviction. Yeah.
that's why my attorney said, just take the money and go.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started
sure.
buying foreclosures, and it was great. I mean, I loved it. In 2008, 2009, when the market crashed, DC passed this law where all foreclosure properties had to go through mediation. And they had one person doing the mediation, and the market had just crashed. So just imagine the backlog of foreclosures.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew this one guy that hadn't paid his mortgage payment in like 4 years, was renting it out, making $4,000 or $5,000 a month and not paying his mortgage. And it took, DC years to foreclose on him.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So when that started happening, I just became a full-time agent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I had a friend of mine, Noel Cisse, was working at Prudential Carruthers in Wisconsin Avenue. They were bought out by Berkshire Hathaway.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, come to Prudential, let's do this. Let's just become full-time agents. And, and here I am.
So you went to Prudential?
I went to Prudential at first. And then we went to Miller, WCN Miller. Remember Miller?
Yeah.
Miller for years. And then after that was One Street. And then now I'm Compass.
So One Street. So we had, I wasn't on that interview with Samer Karashi. So you worked with Samer?
Samer, yes.
Yeah, Samer.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and it was great. We learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We really grew together in that 5 years that I was over there. His team, so he's second generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
His father was an agent from the 80s.
Yeah.
The name of their real estate company was A-K, AK, which is his daughter's, his Samer's sister's initials.
Yeah.
Remember in the 80s, you want to be in the yellow pages, you want to be in the very first of every
Correct.
category.
Yes.
So there's all like A1 imports, A1, A this, so AK. So, what I mean? So like, that's how back they go, that family goes.
Yeah.
Big real estate family. And Samer got into it right, when he turned right after high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, when I listened to that interview this morning, actually, and like that guy is intense with like the amount of systems he put in place and everything. So were you like one of the agents working within that?
Oh, absolutely. As a team, we were putting the system together. Yeah.
Yeah.
With our CRM system and the follow-up system and everything. Yeah. We were just learning together as we were going along. It was a great experience. I mean, I left One Street because, he went to Flex and I stayed with MBP, mortgage rate pricing and Zillow. And, so that's at that point, our interest didn't align anymore. We had learned a lot from each other. It was just time to move on.
Understand.
But I have nothing but great things to say about Samer. He's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he really knows the stuff.
So diving into, I guess, both of these, I want to get more information, like your systems currently, and then also like a lot of agents are asking about Zillow, or they're still around doing the leads or the things like that. So maybe we tackle the Zillow first. Like, what are you doing with Zillow now, if anything?
Zillow, I'm market-based pricing. You know what I mean? I'm just DC zip codes, market-based pricing.
Okay.
Pretty much. I'm not with Flex yet. A lot of people that are on Flex are calling me now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get out of Flex. Some of the Flex agents are trying to get out of Flex teams and coming to MVP teams.
So what's the difference for the listeners that don't know?
Okay, so
and
Flex,
me too. Sometimes I feel kind of lost on the Zillow
Right.
thing,
So Flex is a program where Zillow gives you leads and you pay them a referral fee.
Mm-hmm.
MVP, you're buying the leads up front. Okay. In a seller's market, I think, this is my opinion. In a seller's market, Flex is great for these agents because Zillow's giving you all these leads. The seller's market, and you're doing great, right? In a buyer's market, where the market has flipped, Zillow rather give the leads to MVP agents because I got guaranteed I can give it to Sina and I get my money guaranteed, as opposed to giving it to a Flex team
and wait for the sale that
and
never
wait
happens.
for the sale to never happen.
Yeah,
exactly.
got it.
So these days we're doing better. Last year they got more leads than us.
Mm-hmm.
This year we're doing better. And what Zillow's also doing is they're giving the flex leads in underserved markets, like
Mhm.
Clinton, Maryland, and some of these zip codes that there are just not that many agents out there. So they have all these leads coming in, so they give those to the flex leads.
So real quick, if there's a really hot buyer prospect in 20005, who gets that lead? Would it be the flex agent or
Whoever's on queue.
Whoever's on
It's a
queue.
Sorry, it's
complete
just a queue.
algorithm, and a lot of MBP agents say, "Oh, the flex people are getting." It's not true.
Mhm.
I know firsthand that it's not true. That Zillow is completely. They just randomly give out these, whoever's on queue to take the next lead. You know what I mean? The flex agents in zip codes that are completely sold out, like 20005, they don't get that many leads because it's already sold out.
Right.
Zillow's already making money off of 20005. They don't need to give those leads to the flex agents. You know what I mean? So,
Totally.
But there's a lot of flex teams out of Northern Virginia who are doing super well.
Mhm.
There's even Maryland, Delaware. There's a lot of flex teams that are killing it. It feels like feast or famine with the flex. If
Okay.
you do well, Zillow's going to continue feeding you because they're making money off of you. If you don't do well, they're just going to take the leads back from you. They're just not going to give it to you. So they'd rather just sell it to the MBP agents who are guaranteed money.
So
Right.
do you care to share like how much you're spending a month? We've heard some agents on the show have said 20,000, some have said 30,000 a month.
I'd rather not, but it's in the tens of thousands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you quantified? So you're
Like return-
spending
ROI kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely, of course. I mean, I don't have like tens of thousands of dollars every month to give to Zillow, right? So
Right.
we're getting it, but you count your money at the end of the year,
Sure.
right? We're in a very cyclical business,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So some months we do great, some months we don't, But at the end of the year, I'm keeping all my agents busy. I
Mhm.
mean, this past few months hasn't been great, obviously. Right? It hasn't been great for none of us, So,
Sure.
but I'm keeping all my agents busy, and they're making money. So as long as I'm above water, I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years ago, and the years past has been fantastic. When I first started with Zillow, I mean, it was awesome. When I joined Prudential, there was this one agent over there. This is like, again, this is very early on, and he built this IDX website, and he was getting leads off the IDX website. And he got this one lead, and he made this commission, like $20,000 commission, which is huge off of this, just little IDX website.
Right.
So we're like online lead gen, and he was doing great. He actually wanted to sell me his website for $150,000. I didn't buy it from him, but then I started doing my own research, and there was another agent in our office who was buying Zillow leads, and she was paying like $300 a month and killing it. I'm making $20,000-$30,000 in commission. I mean, the ROI was like
Huge.
through the
That's
roof.
crazy.
Huge. Yeah, this is the very beginning though, right?
Sure.
So Zillow started charging a little. Zillow went from her bill from $300 to $500. She dropped. She's like, "This is too much. I'm not paying Zillow." She wrote this little blog about how Zillow $500 a month. Right now, like all day long,
nothing.
I pay for it.
Yeah.
So I got into Zillow. Zillow started calling me, and I got into Zillow, and I figured it's hard for me to create my own website and compete with Zillow.
Yeah.
Right. So let me just, instead of doing all that stuff, do the SEO and all that, let me just give all my money to Zillow. Let them give me the leads. You know what I
All the
mean?
traffic is on Zillow and already. It's all there.
It's all, Zillow, Realtor, Trulia.
Even when you have like your own buyer, right? And they're getting your portal stuff from the multiple listing service. They're usually sending the stuff back to you on Zillow.
It's either Zillow or Redfin. It's one of those two. Like all
Yeah.
of our, it doesn't matter what price point. It's like, hey, they'll send it to me on one of those two platforms.
Yeah.
That's what they like.
Everyone, even my kid, my daughter,
Yeah.
my daughter's
Yeah.
always like, everyone's on Zillow. That's all they know. When
Yeah.
you want to look at a house, you go on Zillow.
And there's extreme crossover now with like TikTok and certainly Instagram, like Zillow Tastrophes, Zillow Gone Wild.
Zillow Gone
I mean,
Wild,
the branding is just it's outrageous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Are your zip codes predominantly DC?
DC.
Just DC.
DC. Yeah. I got a couple of zip codes. I got one in Virginia and one in Maryland, but DC. That's the bulk of my business is in DC.
Curious, is there another platform that you've looked at that you think that everything has a life cycle, right? Like Zillow
Yeah.
might be at the height of their life cycle, but at a certain point, something's going to trump Zillow, and it could be like 10 years, 20, 40 years down the
I
road.
don't know. I
but-
mean, CoStar's coming after Zillow, right? They're buying Realtor.com.
that's right. Yes.
They're doing it. The talks we're talking about, they're going to actually run into Spencer in the elevator.
hmm
And I asked Spencer Raskoff, the
Yeah.
Zillow
Yep.
CEO, in the elevator at Edmond last. I said, "What do you think is like they're going to buy?"
You think CoStar is going to buy?
CoStar's got Realtor.com.
And scale that up.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I don't like the Realtor.com. I actually like Redfin better than all of them. The app is the easiest. to
Very
use,
easy to use.
right? It's really
Yeah,
good. It's a
agreed.
great app. You know what I mean? But but I do think that Realtor is going to make some headway, and you know, I think they're going to do well. I mean, we'll see.
So now pivoting here a little bit to like the structure of your team and your systems, you're getting all these leads from your Sphere, your 15 plus years in the business and Zillow. Can you tell us about the makeup of your team and your systems in place to support your team?
So our team, we're very international. We speak pretty much every language. Every if you come from Europe, you're gonna, and I speak Farsi, and we don't have an Arabic speaking person, not yet, but we're working on that. But we're very international, right? Being in DC, especially with the Zillow, with the online leads, these people are looking you up before they get into town. I can't tell you how many times we go to the airport, pick people up. I'm sure you guys done that too, right? Take them straight to showings, and take them right back to the airport at the
I don't
end
know
of
about
the day.
that.
I have not done that.
It's very common for us.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very good. Picking people up from the airport and taking them to closings.
So how does that even happen though? Like, where is this lead coming from that you're picking them up at the airport,
Online.
sight unseen, online?
Yeah, so we're not just on Zillow, but our website. So we're very big on online lead gen.
Yeah.
These days, I'm putting my money where I'm not like trying out new things these days, right? Because it's a little tough out there. You know what I mean? But just online, because DC, transient city, government city, people come and go all the time, so they find you before they get into town. A lot of people are looking at properties before they come here, right? And a lot of people build their business on referrals and building relationships, and which we do that too. Don't get me wrong, but but the bulk of our business is coming from online lead gen, and most of them are from out of town.
Sure.
That's why they're contacting the agents online, because they don't know anyone.
They don't know anyone yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
They're
not.
just coming here for the first time. Yeah.
So aside from Zillow, are they going to your personal website, or do you have another?
Everything. We do it all, man. All types of online lead gen. Okay. Personal websites, Zillow, social media.
So so you have an internal sales agent then, and how does that
I
work?
did. So I don't believe in ISAs anymore. I've done ISAs for years. I want my ISA to be an agent, not some I've Conversion Monster and all these other companies I've used, and they just don't work. It just doesn't work. I need an agent. When you call someone's cell phone, it can't say the name of a company. It has to be a real. People only pick up if it's a real person. I know whenever my phone rings if it's a real person or if it's if it's a company or a telemarketer calling, right? So calling from these call centers just doesn't work, man. I've done it for years. It just does not work. I mean,
so impersonal. People get so much spam, right?
Yeah, and they get pissed off. Like, why are you calling me? I just sent in a request.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we even tried being like, as soon as someone gets on a site, we get a high priority alert, and this person's looking at a site, or this person looked at this property twice or 3 times. And the guy said, "Well, call. Hey, I saw you saw 123 Main Street. You want a tour?" It's like, I'm just looking online, people. Like, why are you calling me?
Right.
It's like, I'm take me off your list. People
Right.
get mad.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
totally.
So but if it's a local agent calling, it's different. So I've set up 2 ISAs now, just local agents and young hungry agents. And I've also learned through the years that you can't get an established agent to call these people, because it's a little different. You need hungry agents who and I tell them, I give them what I call the nurture leads. I mean, we have a database of 35,000 in our CRM, right? So we get a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we also get a lot of these nurture leads from Zillow saying, hey, this person reached out to look at 123 Main Street. However, they never got back to us. Do you want to call them? And we call them, say, hey, our latest pitch is basically, because of all the AI stuff and the chat, and Alex, Alex is Zillow's.
Alex is everywhere.
Alex is
Yeah.
everywhere. But anyway, have you ever chatted with Alex? He's awful. It's pretty bad.
Is Alex the one? Is like, hey, it's Alex from. Is that
From Zillow.
Is that-
Alex is Zillow's chatbot. It's not a real person.
okay?
Like,
Okay.
It is, and that's Zillow, billion-dollar company. And I'm not into chatbots, by the way. I've tried them. They just don't work.
Right.
Not yet.
I can't even imagine.
It's so I've had a couple conversations with Alex. I think it's pretty bad. I mean, like one time I was telling him I'm interested in properties in 20009, and then it's like, when do you want to go look at that property in 20009? Like, what property? It's a zip code. Like, what I mean? So it doesn't even. So anyways, I digress. Where were we? Sorry. So yeah, so we get these. So we nurture the leads for Zillow with our ISAs, and our ISA sent to an agent. I said, when you get an appointment, you can have that lead. It's yours. And it's been working out so far.
Okay.
I mean, we started with the whole agents being an ISA for a couple months, and and I want people to call from their cell phones. Don't even call from the office phone. Call from your cell phone, and text them directly from your cell phone. So when they get the text from you and it's blue and not green,
So it's like a real
it's
person.
like a real person.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going after. You're
And,
talking to a real.
and on that
forget the
topic,
AI
none of
stuff.
your agents are allowed to have Android phones. No green tech.
No, I actually.
Yeah.
It's so funny you said that. We had this one person on our team was an Android phone, and he wasn't that great of an agent. I said, you know what? What tipped me over the edge was the fact that he had an Android phone. I said, you're screwing up our group chat, man. He's
That's
laughing because he
funny.
knows what I'm talking about. It's true. I'm like, you're screwing up our group chat. I can't even send a video or a picture because
Yeah, this is
I was
a soundbite, man. That's going on the reels right there.
That's
Oh
funny.
no,
Yeah, just like that put me over the edge. You have an Android phone, you're out of here.
you're out of here. I can't do
That's
it.
the first question in the interview.
Yeah.
What type of phone do you have? That's funny. Real quick, do you have an algorithm? So if the lead comes in, like you've got to touch this buyer 7 times in 7 days or 3 times in 10
30
days?
times.
30 times.
30 touches or 40 touches or however many, as long as they don't tell you to go, just call them, email them, give them, don't wait for a response. Don't even prompt them. Don't even, no call to action.
Right.
I'm just, hey, I like this listing. What do you think?
Mhm.
If they don't respond, don't be bad. They're busy. It's DC. Everyone's busy. Half of them can't even check their phones. When they're at Treasury or White House or Capitol, they got to check in their phones, right? So they can't even respond to you. So let them be. Just give them something of value and wait for them to respond.
You have a back end CRM that like all of these leads
Follow
go
up
in,
boss.
everything goes into follow boss.
Everything goes in follow boss.
And then you can see from an eagle view on who's touching who,
Who's touching
when.
who, how many
Right.
times they've called them. I can see all their email communications between them and the lead. And, and if I see them, every once in a while I go on there just randomly because there's a lot of, it'll take me hours, and so I just go in there randomly, just look at agents and their performance and see how much they've been calling. And if they have to track everything, they have to put all the notes in follow boss. And I
Right.
tell them if it's not on, if you text them from your phone, just copy and paste whatever you text them into follow. So
Yeah.
if it's not on follow bus, it never happened. I don't care if you call them 10 times, but if I don't see it on follow bus, it never happened. I wanted to see it on follow
Yeah,
bus.
it's too
Why?
disjointed otherwise. And Follow Up Boss is a great tool. I use Follow Up Boss. We don't use it enough. Like it's just really just me using it, and because I'm
Right.
getting like leads from different sources, I plug everything in there. I always have a task list.
Yep.
It really, I mean, and like we're talking about here, I will reach out to people forever, and then
Yeah.
lo and behold, 6 months, 8 months down the line, they're there.
Yep.
As long as you know to follow up, that's how you do it.
You want to stay top of mind.
Yeah.
Right. You just want to stay top of mind, and with follow up boss, it helps you. When was the last time you contact. You have all your notes, and the reason why I tell all the agents I need notes in here because if another agent picks up this lead, then I need to know what you've done with this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I love follow up boss. We tried everyone to Sync and we went to Boomtown and we went back to follow up boss.
Follow Up
That's
Boss.
great. And when I joined Compass has got a pretty good CRM too. But then like one of the techie guys in New York that I talked to, he's like, stay with follow up boss for now. We're not
Wow.
as good as FUB
Yeah.
yet. You know what I mean? So
But they bought contractually, is that correct?
Contactually.
Con-
yeah,
contextually.
contextually,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's-
Listen, the Compass backend, so that's a real tech. That's a real prop tech.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's very. And I'm not back there because all my TCs are back there, like uploading files and everything. But every once in a while that I go in the back end, I mean, it's very impressive, man. As soon as you put up a listing in the MLS, you get all the marketing material sent to you for social, for postcards, everything. You want to mail this to the net. I mean, you can do all of it in the back end, off of your laptop.
I mean, okay, so let's go back to the Compass thing. So when did you join Compass? When
Height of COVID. It was
okay,
like,
okay,
yeah.
so fairly recent.
2.5
though.
years,
2.5 years
yeah.
ago. So what about Compass? Like the branding or the company? What were they doing for you that like made you want to be a team there?
Being with the boutique brokerage, it is kind of tough. Like in DC, everyone knows me, but every once in a while, like I'm in Howard County or like, College Park or whatever, showing a house, I'm calling an agent, hey, this is Sina from 1 Street. And like, oh, I'm not interested, click. I'm not selling you something, sir. I want to show your listing.
Right.
Where's your century? So it's so much easier just to say Compass. I mean,
Yeah.
what I mean? So everyone knows it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it does help. And of course, sellers want that, beautiful Compass sign or the TTR sign or Washington Fine Property sign.
Sure,
They don't want a boutique sign on their thing. Most buyers don't even care.
that's right.
They don't. When I moved to 1 Street from
They don't know.
Miller,
Most players don't know. Like they're just like they see a
they
real
don't-
estate sign, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
they're not there yet. I know. Yeah.
They know you're an agent, but not which company. Even with me, excuse me, they'll ask me like, Brent with Washington Fine Property, and I'm like, what? At least they know I'm an agent, right?
yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
the owners of our company love that one. Real quick, can you give us the rundown of your team? You keep mentioning your team. I mean, how many people? How many agents? How many admin?
Okay, so I can say since it's end of February, I can now say that me and Margaret Babington have joined forces.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
on
so
social media too.
yeah. So we've joined forces. So so I was 16 and so we're like 20, and we've hired a couple new and
It's
you
huge.
know yeah, so 20 something agents. Yeah.
Great.
I think I've seen yeah, I mean, you can kind of follow the algorithm on social media. I think I've seen a few things from both of you guys.
We're
Like
teasing everyone.
exactly, it's like a
Yeah,
teaser.
so yeah, it's
Exactly.
just, people are like, why are they taking a picture together? What are
Right.
they doing? You know what I mean? So yeah,
What was the thought behind that? Like joining two powerhouses.
just I needed someone opposite of me. Like she's a yin to my yang, and like you say, you know, what I mean, I'm more transactional. She's more like relationship building. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking I'll bring in the transaction, and she can do the back end, just build more relationships. You know, she's a little softer than I am. You know, what I mean, I'm the father of the team. She's the mother of the team. You guys know Margaret, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, of
she's
course, absolutely,
fantastic, right?
absolutely, yeah.
So and my team, everyone loves her. Everyone loves her, and so I think it's a great it's a great relationship. It's a great match. You know, I mean, we're nothing alike. We're the
That's good.
exact
That's how
opposite.
Rob and I work because we're night and day different, but like together there's a synergy. It's like 1 + 1 is
So
3.
you know exactly what I'm talking
Exactly.
about. Yeah.
So you guys are gonna have 20 agents. How many support will you guys have?
We have 3 on staff that are not agents, that are not in production, and we have 2 more TCs who are in production, but one of them, you know, pregnant, just had a baby at home, so she's just working from home and stuff. So I guess about 5 support for the team.
What's the team's name?
Malone Babington.
Okay.
Yeah.
Simple.
We went back and forth.
Right.
We just kept the names. We were talking about MB, but we stuck with Malone Babington.
Okay. Let's get back to like our core stuff here. What's the most rewarding part of the business for you?
Rewarding part. We work with a lot of buyers, obviously, right? So 2/3 of our business is buyers, and just to see matchmaking the buyer to the right neighborhood, especially if they come from out of town, and then afterwards they call you and tell you how much they love the neighborhood and how much they love being in DC, blah blah. Just helping people get into their house is very rewarding. Like at closing, especially in DC, in the past couple of years, multiple offer situation, when you actually win something, it just feels so good. You know what I mean? So I like seeing, and I love the fact that these buyers are trusting me with their biggest purchase of their life, and sellers are trusting us with their biggest sale of their life. So that's very rewarding.
Mm-hmm. What are you passionate about right now? I mean, obviously you're joining forces with another top agent, so like there's a lot of energy being put towards that. But what else are you passionate about, either business-wise or personal, right now?
Personal, I'm passionate about the I guess the women's rights movement in Iran.
Okay.
There's a protest every week, and I'm out there every week protesting with I don't know if you guys noticed us around town, but we're trying to make a big stink, trying to get everyone to pay attention. So business wise, I am passionate about all the AI stuff that's coming out. I am very passionate about the tech chatbots.
I'm totally into that stuff.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Me too. And like I try every single company that comes out. They pitch me stuff. Like, let's give it a shot. You know what I mean? So, but it's not there yet. But I am very passionate about the all the new technology that's coming out. Like localized. I don't know if you talked to them. And
we talked to them a little bit. Yeah,
a little expensive, but
I didn't get into the full pitch on the pricing of it, but I saw what they were doing.
Yeah, they want a 20% referral fee on the back end too, not just upfront fee to to get their But and all they're doing is just a chatbot. You give them your database, and their chatbot just goes to town with these people.
So for the Chat GPT, just this open AI stuff that's out here right now, I straight up told Claire in our office, I was like, use Chat GPT to literally write the text for our listings from now on, and just we can tweak them. I said, just try it. You'll see.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
What is it called again?
I don't see.
What is it called again?
Seriously?
No, maybe I just
Chat GPT.
Chat GPT, Open AI.
Yeah.
It's the first one. It's the first one.
There's
a lot of competition coming, but it's the first one. I tried. I told it to write a listing description for my own house.
Yeah.
It does need to be tweaked.
Yeah,
but it's a great start.
Yeah. No, I had a newly renovated house. I don't think I used it for this one, but like after I had already listed it, I was like, let me just plug in a couple key pieces of information and see what it spits out. It was almost identical to what I had written because I've been writing these things for like 20 years.
Right.
It's just like the basic real estate language.
Yeah.
And we don't need to reinvent the wheel on this stuff. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just got to have the keywords so search and everything works correctly, it's amazing.
Yeah.
For that kind of stuff, it's amazing. We'll see
Yeah.
how much more we can teach it and what else it can do for us soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I love how you can just ask it a direct question and just answer for you.
Yeah.
A couple of times I'm in a group text with my team and everyone's trying to get some ideas how to do this and how to do that. And somebody asked a question, so I went on ChatGPT real quick and an answer. This I copied and I pasted to the group text. And I was like, oh my God, Sina, that's perfect. Where I didn't tell him immediately that I got it from ChatGPT.
Wait, the other day
I'm very intrigued by this Chat
Wait,
GPT.
Stop. I wrote down write an intro for a real estate podcast. Do you remember I sent this that you didn't realize where that was from?
No, I did not.
And it was like, it's like, we're going to dive right into the detail. It was like written
Yeah.
just like we would say it. It was perfect.
Yeah.
So
Try it. Give me some video content for real estate and you'll see. You'll be amazed.
Again, this is my novice, but like you just Google Chat GPT and something's going to pop up.
Just go to chatgpt.com.
yeah.
Okay.
And then it'll take you to
Just
ChatGPT.
sign
Yeah,
in,
you
like
gotta
basic sign in,
Yeah.
and then you just literally type in a prompt and it will tell you whatever it wants to tell you or knows about that piece of
Interesting.
information, or you want to write an essay, if you want to, whatever, it'll tell
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Now,
I-
like I heard, I'm not cross-referencing like everything that I've heard about what I'm hearing about, okay? But I don't know that it knows enough to like diagnose medical issues or things like that. So maybe not okay yet.
I'll still go to the doctor.
Yeah.
But they got like the AI technology looking through X-rays, looking for, I don't know, like certain things with cancer and people, whatever. Like if a naked eye doesn't catch it when the doctor, it has that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But as far as we're concerned, I mean, just ask a direct question.
Yeah.
Any question you want to ask it, it'll answer for you.
It's kind of
It's
like Google
amazing.
or Alexa.
Google got a code red email alert to the entire company when this thing came out. They're gonna put Google out of it. This is a
Code
bigger deal than Google.
Right.
This is a bigger deal than the iPhone. This is a big deal.
It's like Insta Google.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And Instagram, exactly. When
You
you
know?
type something on Google, then it points you, then you got to click away to see
Yeah.
where you can
You
get
got
the
to
information.
find an ad, go through an
You gotta-
ad. And all that. Yeah. I
This
know.
thing, you just ask it a question and answer you. That's it.
Yep.
Just any question.
You're gonna be on that a lot.
Yes.
Give it a shot.
I'm excited.
Yeah, give it a shot.
All right. Well, we're towards the end of our time here.
Oh, geez.
Brent, did you have anything else to?
Is there any questions that we didn't ask you or anything you want to share with the listeners that we didn't
Not
discuss?
really, no.
Okay.
I think
We had a
discussed-
good. That was a good conversation.
Yeah.
All right. Sina, thank you so much for coming out and joining us today. Love the conversation. We really appreciate your time. Brent's gonna hit you with some rapid fire questions.
Uh-oh. Okay, here we go.
Five
I'm
easy
this
ones.
morning, so but we'll give it a shot.
What is your food kryptonite?
Food kryptonite.
Just can't stay away from it.
I mean, Persian food, man. Rice and kebabs. I mean, that's, my wife owns a Persian restaurant, and I always joke I married you because of your restaurant.
Which
Sounds
restaurant?
Yekta in Rockville.
Okay.
It's been around since the early 80s. Her father opened it up, and her father passed away, and she inherited the restaurant/market. Yeah,
Nice.
You like Moby Dicks?
of course. Are you kidding?
Yes.
When Moby Dick
No, I'm
opened
not
up-
kidding. I'm just
No, I love Moby Dick. Moby Dick, actually, when they opened up, they had gone to my wife's father to help him, and he told him he'll never do a Moby Dick in Rockville. I don't, you don't have competition. in
Competition,
Rockville.
right. I see on Instagram and social media that you're always traveling somewhere. Do you have a favorite vacation spot?
Miami,
Miami.
all day long. All I need is Miami. I don't need anywhere else. Love going to Miami. I love the trails. Love the boating. Love the beaches. Love the people. Love everything about Miami.
So when you go there, where are you staying?
We have a place down there we bought back in the day. We bought in. Remember when we used to buy pre-construction, and then by the time it was ready, so we bought a couple of pre-construction. But then it wasn't. 2005 there was that hurricane, and the construction was backed up, and it wasn't ready until 07, and also by 07 everything got crashed. So, it didn't work out too well for us. But we kept the place. We bought two places to flip one to pay off the first one.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
That didn't work out.
Didn't work out. But we finally sold. I sold the second one right before COVID. It's
Yeah.
like the worst time. It was like because COVID, everything shot up in Miami.
Yeah. The market's
You know
still
what I
going up down there.
Still going up down there. When I get the Zillow alerts from the Miami zip codes, I'm still seeing like forecasting of positive 2-3% growth in Miami.
Are you in Miami or South Beach?
We're in actually North Beach, so North Bay
North Beach,
Village
okay,
is right
yeah.
off the 79th Street Causeway.
Yep.
So our condo faces South Beach, so we got South Beach to the left and downtown to the right. So we got a
Nice.
really nice view.
Very nice.
Yeah, North Bay Village is one of the only affordable islands in Miami. Everything else, Star Island, is just like crazy.
So
like,
crazy expensive.
So, but North Bay Village is still
Okay.
affordable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good tip.
You're driving down the road. What's on the radio or satellite radio?
What's on the radio? You know, so on my Tesla, my algorithm is on my radio. So Tesla, whatever you like or dislike, when you press fast forward on every song that you don't like,
So he's bringing you stuff.
it's bringing, and it's so good. And you know, a couple of times they played a couple of Persian songs. I don't know how it knows.
It knows.
It knows, but a couple of Persian songs. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that's pretty good.
Elon Musk is brilliant.
Yeah. But I do a lot of 80s new wave, you know.
I like
my
90s on
generation.
9.
Right on.
Last live concert or DJ event you've went to?
Last live concert was Imagine Dragons. Yeah, we're big, entire family.
They're good.
They're good. Imagine
Yeah.
Dragons, yeah, we're big on Imagine Dragons.
Our little ones like that.
But I'm going to Depeche Mode in LA next month. The Depeche Mode's world tour, I'm very disappointed. They're not coming to DC. So I chose LA because, you know, that's where I first seen them back in '84. The same place at the Forum they're playing. So I'm going to Depeche Mode in late March.
Sounds like an awesome trip.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Forum was still around.
Yeah, they do concerts now. Yeah, Lakers are gone, but they do concerts there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want more of, time or money?
Time.
Excellent. That's all
Gotta
my
be-
questions.
Gotta be time.
Gotta be time.
Yeah.
All right, Sina. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming out. We always give a charity donation to a charity of your choice. Is there someone you want to give a shout out to today?
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's.
Done deal. Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for listening to Keyed In with your hosts, Max and Brent, unlocking the minds of the industry's top real estate professionals. For more information on selling your home, find us online at keyedinpodcast.com. Remember to subscribe to Keyed In on Apple Podcasts or wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Keyed In Podcast, at Rabin Max, and at Brent E. Jackson. And follow Max on TikTok at MaxwellRabin_properties.